Hi everyone, welcome to the second video for our cocktail mini masterclass. So we had done yesterday the mojito and the daiquiri, and today we're going to do a French 75 and a Amaretto Sour. Now, if anyone hasn't watched yesterday's video, just to run over the basics again that I said in terms of a cocktail, is that balance, in which case you would use any kind of sour form, so lime, lemon, grapefruit, orange, anything along that lines, against a sugar element like sugar syrup, any kind of liqueur, caramel, anything along that lines, and having equal parts of both of those gives you a perfect balance in a drink. We did that yesterday with the mojito, so we did 25 mils of lime, 25 mils of sugar, and then 50 mils of rum. Now, I did mention in there about adjusting for the balance if you were using a liqueur. So if, for example, we had a Cosmopolitan, which actually uses Cointreau, you start with the same base, which is 25 mils of lime juice, and then you would add 12.5 mils of Cointreau. And obviously that's a sugar element, it's pure sugar. So when it comes to adding your sugar, you'd normally balance off with the lime, you would add half the amount, because also you've already got half the amount equation there of the Cointreau. So the Cointreau and the sugar together equate to 25 mils, and that is your balance against the lime. So if ever you want to make a cocktail where you add a liqueur in, you have to account for that and cut your sugar content down so that you're not having too much sugar as opposed to your lime or lemon juice that's in there. When it comes to the drink we're going to make today, so the first one we're going to do is a French 75. It's another one that's made in a glass. Again, it's one of those elements where there's no excuse to make this one. It's a very easy cocktail to make, and you can pretty much have this prepped with the balance at the start of a house party, and all you would do is add your prosecco as guests arrive, but you can have the balance all ready to go. So with this one, we literally take a champagne flute. You could chill it if you want to. I don't fuss too much about champagne flute, sorry. Normally it's just the martini glasses I chill down, but if you can have it in the freezer beforehand, it does just elevate the drink just slightly because it makes it just that bit better when it's extra cold. I've got some prosecco, a nice little mini bottle here, and I've got some lemon juice this time, and I've got normal sugar syrup, and I've got amaretto. Sorry, this is the next cocktail. I've got some gin, and that's essentially the three ingredients that you need for the base, and then you've got your prosecco to top, so it's nice and easy to remember. We are not going to add as much in as the first two cocktails yesterday. We're going to add just 20 mils of the lemon juice, but we have to balance that out, so we are going to use 20 mils of sugar, and then we're also going to use 20 mils of gin. So it's a little bit shorter on my measure, and this all just gets put into the glass. It's very nice and easy. So let's take, I think this has got a 20 ml line, it has indeed. So 20 mils lemon juice, and 20 mils of sugar syrup. There's my line gone there. And then we also have 20 mils of gin. Just go straight into the glass. Once that's in there, that's literally everything for that cocktail again. And this is the point where I said you could have that ready, loads of glasses in the line, ready to go at a house party. All you have to do now is add the prosecco in to finish the drink off. So let's just open this up. I believe the miniature bottles are screws. They are indeed. And we will literally just top that up. You don't have to go right to the top on that. I usually just let to the bubbles and let that sit down. And then I'm going to take a lemon and then just take a nice peel. Just a bit short, make it a bit longer. And then all I would do is I would squeeze that around the rim of the glass, rub that round, give it a twist, and then just drop that in. And that is it. So good. Makes it a lot more refreshing with the lemon, and the gin just has a nice cut through. Now, non-alcoholic version. With this one, it is possible. It's a lot more simplified, put it that way though. You would only use the lemon and the sugar, and then you would just add appetize. You wouldn't add your gin and you wouldn't add your prosecco. So again, there is an alternative version. If anyone comes over and they're not drinking, you know, they're driving, for example, and not drinking, you can have that base made, but obviously not without the gin. Keep them separate, and then all you do is just add appetize to it when they arrive, and that's the one way of having a non-alcoholic version. You could use any kind of, you could use any kind of fizz. I'm just trying to think because of the flavors. If you had lemon and sugar in there, another good kind of fizzy based drink is anything that's kind of cranberry based. They work really well with lemon. You could use strawberry as well if you can get a strawberry fizzy alternative to appetize. And again, you're just finding any means really to make a non-alcoholic alternative, but your base would just be the lemon and sugar, so it's nice and easy to do. But that one we'll put over there. And the last one we're going to make today actually is the Amaretto Sour. So Amaretto Sour, now it comes essentially, it's an alternative version of a whiskey sour. That's the one that's most commonly known. And a whiskey sour normally would be 25 mils of lemon juice, 25 mils of sugar, equal balance. You would have some angostura bitters, 50 mils of whiskey, and then you cube ice and you shake it. The Amaretto Sour, the alternative version is to use Amaretto di Serrano instead of the whiskey, but use the same base. Now, me personally, when I make the Amaretto Sour, what I do is as well, I swap out the angostura bitters for chocolate bitters, because I think chocolate and Amaretto works really well together. So with this one, I'm going to use chocolate bitters. This is not the easiest thing to find. So Angostura bitters would work completely fine. In fact, most bars, when they do Amaretto Sours, they will use Angostura bitters. So if you're used to that kind of flavour, by all means use Angostura bitters, is fine. And this again is one we use a shaker. I've got a better lid this time for my bubblegum shrimp shaker, so I'm going to try that again this time. And then we pour straight into a rocks glass. Here I've just found some jar, I think it was a brandy glass of some vodka brand, which I don't really recognise, but it will do. Everything goes into your shaker again, so we're going to add 25 mils of lemon juice, and then 25 mils of sugar. This is now where I would add my bitters. So for me, I'm going to add chocolate bitters. It's just 2 dashes. So again, if it's Angostura bitters, 2 dashes of that. And then we add, again with the alcohol, the important stuff. This is 50 mils. Straight into there. Now the other alternative option that some bars do is they add egg white. It's become a little bit a thing of the past at the moment because we have so many allergies out there now that are accounted for. So bars really shouldn't add egg white as a common place. They have to ask the customer if you would like egg white. Personally, again, I don't have egg white in mind, so I'm not going to add it into shake, but this is where you would add literally 1 egg white. So if you had an egg, do your sort of back and forth to get into the white, and you'll just throw that straight in. The shaking motion cooks that egg white up, and all it does really is add a bit more depth, as well as the froth. It just adds a bit more kind of texture to the cocktail itself. That's really the only big difference. So it's not imperative to have egg white, and it's usually probably safer not to have egg white. All we do now is add cubed ice. Into your shaker, right to the top, and then we're going to give that a good shake. This one should work better this time. Again, it's a good sort of 10-12 seconds, and then we're just going to pour straight out with the ice into the glass. And then I don't need to add any more ice on there. If it was short, I would just put a little bit more on top. And then what I do to garnish my Amaretto Sour is have a orange wedge. So I will just cut one. Really blunt knife here. And I'll put that in there. And actually, if I did have a cherry, I'd put a cherry on there as well to garnish, and a straw if needed. If not, just sip straight from the glass. But there it is, Amaretto Sour. Very nice and easy to make again. There isn't really a non-alcoholic version for this one in particular, if I'm being honest. You could potentially use like an orange juice of some sort. I've had one before actually with grapefruit, but it wasn't quite the best, if I'm being honest. So this one is not really one to have around if anyone wants an alcoholic alternative. Having said that, Disaronno is a very, very low alcoholic liqueur. If you get some other Amaretto liqueurs, they're even lower than Disaronno. So potentially there's an option there that it's low enough that, you know, someone could have one, but we never really generally recommend anyone to drink at all when they're at parties. So that's the best thing to do, is just to deter them onto something else, put it that way. But that's essentially it. We had two more today. So we had the French 75 Amaretto Sour, both using very similar base of the ingredients, changing up the style, but very easy drinks again to make. Other than that, it just leaves me to say thank you for watching along these last two videos. I know they're nice and short, but it's just to, again, to reiterate how easy it is to make the cocktails. We offer cocktail masterclasses on a more in-depth scale virtually online. So if you need to arrange sort of staff parties, we're getting a lot of bookings at the moment for corporate parties where they're not being able to go out for Christmas in the Christmas month and have a typical staff party. So we're doing it over Zoom. We actually send out the full cocktail kit. So you've got the shaker, the strainers, the bar spoon, the jigger, and that's something they can then keep and use at home going forward. And we include X amount of ingredients in there depending on what your requirements are. And we'll teach you through those over a course of about an hour and a half on an evening. People can sort of mix in your own kind of entertainment or quizzes, but they work really well. And we also do a lot of online tastings for spirits like gins and whiskey, which again we can arrange on a private basis for companies as a way of just getting the staff together. Anyone that's working from home, it's nice and easy. They can also easily get their partners to join in on the evening. But yeah, if you need any of that, get in touch with us via our website, which is the best one to go to is craftgins.co.uk, which is our gin side. And also DM us on Instagram, social media via Tomoka Spirits Boutique, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And other than that, have a great evening and we'll see you soon.